then I will bring them to Los Angeles and then do overdubs over them. And most of the time I track my vocals over in Los Angeles, but I will use like certain backing and then horns here. So I try to constantly marry both worlds, because
Right.
every place, the musicians, their style is different. So for me to also cross and create a sound too that's representative of both worlds, I needed to use musicians from all those places. And then when it comes to inspiration, for me, I think that every musician, if you're a deeply spiritual person,
Yeah.
and by spiritual I mean that we are all spiritual. Before, the body is only a shell of interaction. You interact the
Yeah.
world with, but when you meet somebody, you don't meet the body. You meet the person within the body. So that spirit in human beings, I feel that when we connect with people on that level, we're able to communicate in a much more deeper way with people. And I think that's what music allows us. It allows the ability of the collective to partake in our energies together. I try to draw from that wellspring of inspiration whenever I write music, because I believe that when it's done and people listen to it, they also, in the privacy of their room, it has to be true to them. And the only way it can be true to them is if it comes from a position of agreement and a collective position.
This one says, I think Rocky Dawuni should be a lecturer. His words are really inspiring. Rocky, what would be your response to that?
Well, I've had, this is a story that...
And I can't agree more.
This is a story that I think I have to break this story, because
Right.
we've been talking about it. Okay, so when I finished my national service, in Koforidua, I was posted to, I was supposed to go to one region, and then later on in my area, there was a school there.
Right.
And, just a young little, kid, very, very young, but, at the same time, they were like, oh, you can come and teach in this school, because I knew the woman, and she was like, okay,
Right.
you can teach these kids. So a few years later, I found out that one of my students was actually Sarkodie.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, at that time, Sarkodie was also in Koforidua, schooling. So I was doing that. So I had the opportunity of teaching, him at that time, and, and it's been, a long time since then, but I've done actually lectures in, in certain universities in the U.S. where I've been called. I'm actually doing another lecture again on the 6th of February in another school. Right. So I'm usually called to do these things, and then also in my role too as a UN Goodwill Ambassador too. I also had the opportunity of being a spokespersonality for certain UN initiatives too.
Right.
So
you're already on the path.
Yes, I'm on the path, and then what I'm trying to do is not really to brag about the things that I talk about, because for me it's just it's not important. You know what I mean? The important thing is that I am just a Ghanaian kid who had a dream, and everybody can do what I am doing.